Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Akozo, but you can call me AK for short. I've been thinking a lot recently about this whole female emancipation stuff. Why marriages are crashing, relationships don't last as long as they used to. What are the issues? Women complaining they want equality, they want a voice, they want all of that. That's fine. I'm all for equal treatment. But you see, I have a couple of questions I would like to ask myself. When you say someone is oppressed, then it simply means the person does not have the capacity to determine their future. A slave is oppressed by the master, so the slave does not have the ability to determine his or her future because it is in the decision-making power of another human being. We can both agree on that, right? So, in today's society, as a woman, you can vote and be voted for. You have the right to an education. You can go to school, become a captain of industry, become a businesswoman, become a professor, become literally anything you wish to do. You can vote and be voted for. You have the right to an education. You have the right to political representation. You have the right to access to justice. You can go to a court if you feel violated in any way. You could go to court. You could sue and seek for redress. In today's society, there is nothing exclusive to the man which the woman wants, and it is denied her by law. In Nigeria, you have Ministry of Women Affairs. There are no Ministry for Men Affairs. The only thing today that is exclusive to men, which women, I don't know why nobody's saying anything about it, is that in the event of extreme scarcity and a supreme emergency, women in today's world, which they claim to be oppressed, will still be given priority over the man. Let me explain. Extreme scarcity is an example of a famine. If there is a famine, they will normally prioritize the feeding of women and children first. A supreme emergency is an example of a war. In a place like Ukraine today, if you're a man, you can't leave that country. You will be conscripted into the military, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter whether you have dreams of becoming a CEO, a music artist, an athlete. Until that conflict is over, as long as you're a man, you're going to fight. But the women can leave. I have a friend in the US that chicks are telling him to send his private jets to go and carry them. Instagram models. So the men are fighting and dying while the women are free to go to another country and shake their asses on Instagram. But you're oppressed. The patriarchy is so evil. In the event of a sinking ship, I, as a man, and every other man, will be expected by law or by moral standards to step aside and give women and children the preference first. The patriarchy you say is so evil is willing to throw away the lives of men to save your life as a woman. But you are oppressed. Do you know the nature of social relationships between an aggressor and the oppressed? People revolted to fight against things like slavery or any other form of injustice. Feminism, as at least I understand it, has to do with what? Access to equal economic opportunities for men and women. Before the law, you and I, male and female, we are both citizens, and we will enjoy the benefits of citizenship of that country. They're not going to say I'm a man, they're going to give me a loan and they won't give you. So, what I've learned is, in today's society, what is actually being called oppression is the accountability or the enforcement of standards which men expect from women. In other words, if I say I expect my wife to cook for me, perhaps she's a working woman, you would say, oh, we both went to work, right? So a woman who works in an administrative role in an office is equal to me who works in a construction site. We are both supposed to be exhausted at the same level, Abi? The same woman who tells you she can't cook because she's tired, if she receives a phone call from her boss who pays her 40,000 a month that she should submit a report in the morning. Otherwise, she loses her job. That woman will stay up for 2 hours at night to prepare that report. So, you can prepare that report for your boss, but you can't cook for your husband to eat. It's not an insensitive example. You see, a lot of you today, on Saturday, next Saturday, go outside and look at the number of vehicles you will see about to wed or just wedded. In every state, anywhere you're watching this video, go and check. How many do you see compared to 20 years ago? Men are not marrying, it's not because of COVID-19 or poverty. Most men are tired of what you women have become. You've gained a voice, at what expense? A man can reproduce forever. How long does a woman have the ability to bring forth children into this world? You have 25 to 30 years. If she starts menstruating at 12, at 45, menopause is already knocking on the door. So how many years do you have to bring children into this world? You don't want to get married, that's fine. You don't want to have children, that's fine. But let me ask you one question. What is your role in this world? As a woman. My role as a man is to provide for the family, protect that family, provide discipline for the children produced in that family unit at the very basic level. If I tell you now, you watching this video, I tell you that as a man, you shouldn't have any responsibility towards your wife and your children. You say such a man is an irresponsible idiot, and correctly so. Right? But if a man should say a woman's role is to birth and nurture children, you will say the man is mad. He thinks this is 1942. Right? Let me tell you something. You may choose not to get married. You may choose not to have children. But without procreation, the human race will go extinct. There is a primary role, and a primary role is not an only role. Your primary role in this world as a female is to birth and nurture children. It takes precedence over everything else, even if you choose not to get married. Did you hear what I said? You can choose to be a doctor, a lawyer, an astronaut, a US Navy pilot. You can choose to do anything you want on earth and forget about marriage and family. That's fine. But if every woman takes that disposition, the human race will go extinct. All of us will die, and that will be the end of it. A primary role is not an only role. You don't have forever to find a mate. You can say, oh, this celebrity married at 40, that celebrity married at this one married at this one married at that. The older you are as a woman, the higher your chances of having a child with Down syndrome. The higher your chances of having a special needs child. Am I saying all women should be barefooted and pregnant and illiterate? God forbid. The professional input of women is doing wonders all over the world, and it is a beautiful experience. What I'm telling you is strike a balance in your life. Work hard as a professional woman, but prioritize your life. The problem with many of you women today is that your nature as a female, a human female, is your undoing. Naturally, the woman wants a man she can look up to, financially, intellectually, in terms of everything else. So when you're working and you're earning 500,000 naira a month, the guy who maybe have gone to school, he has a degree, maybe he earns 300k a month. Most of you women will not see such a man as an ideal mate, even if he can protect you and provide for you. You are gunning for the CEO at your office. Those of us who work, we know what happens in many corporate environments. Many. I've heard of chicks being screwed in the vault of banks. We know what we see. Anyway, that's the subject for another day. Let's stay on topic. You have a role in the home. When you play it properly as the man, the family stays. When you play it properly as the woman, the family stays. In India that you know today, when they were colonized by the British, the British government told them that only a Christian marriage will be recognized, which means all Hindu and Muslim marriages are automatically rendered null and void. It was Mahatma Gandhi who stood up against this and stopped it. Why? Because marriage is older than the church. Christianity is 2,000 years old. What's the name of the pastor that wedded Abraham and Sarah? What's the name of the priest that wedded Lot with his wives? Marriages started collapsing in this country when pastors replaced fathers in counseling their sons about marriage, and when mothers were replaced by these same pastors in counseling their daughters about marriage. What Africa, Nigerians, all of us are suffering today is cultural amalgamation. We have accepted everything that the people who colonized us and told us that we are not equal to them. Their standard is what is being taught in churches today as marriage. And you wonder why everything everywhere don't scatter. It will continue to scatter. It will continue to scatter. It will continue to scatter. If something as important as marriage, you as a people, as a tribe, you are not the ones defining it. It's not a church from the religious belief of some foreigner who brought for you. There are churches everywhere, marriage seminars everywhere, divorce on the increase. But when your parents, with culture, talked to their children about marriages, it was lasting longer. To you, the woman, the modern woman, you have believed a lie. Equality is equality before the law. Equality before economic opportunities. Equality for access to justice. Equality in terms of access to an education. You don't discriminate and say the female won't go to school and the male should go. That's rubbish. If you take this mindset of equality in the home, you want to do partnership, madam, relocate to America. You there? In this place, in this country where you are, in the tribe you were born, since before even you were born, there is a role for the man and there is a role for the woman. If you and your husband are partners in the home, who makes the final decision on issues? A man tells you, we are going left on this matter, and then you will insist that you are going right. If he tells you, we are going left on this matter, what do? You drag the vehicle steering with him on the highway. You drag, say, no, we must go right. Everybody will crash and die. If you can't take instructions from a man, because you are too beautiful and too wealthy, don't say yes to his marriage proposal. Don't marry a man you don't respect enough to follow. Una the oppressed. Until next time, bye-bye.